So welcome, Christophe, Choo, and Marty Rodriguez. Thank you so much for being a part of this today.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. Hey, Christophe.
Hey, Marty. So glad you're here.
Yes. I'm excited to be here.
Me too.
Yeah, so for those that are jumping in right now, again, we're just a couple seconds away from officially being at 11 o'clock. So we know that people are going to jump in. They're going to watch this later. There's going to be quite a few that are joining us live, which we're super pumped about. But the whole goal and idea of being live today is that we want to be able to share and hear directly from two of the best practitioners in the business, two agents that have been in the business for quite some time. You've seen a lot of different market changes. And so although we know that this is something that's newer, I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to be able to get some insight from you, like hear the light from you. So first of all, let me give a proper introduction to my really good friends, Marty Rodriguez from Century 21, who is known to be literally a living legend in real estate. And with that being said, Marty, you were just recognized as having one of the top teams in the state of California. I saw that in the California Association of Realtors magazine.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm very proud of my team.
We're number one in the world again. Weren't you number one in the world again?
Yes.
Yes. Not just California, the world. The world.
Oh, forget California. Number one in the world. That's absolutely fantastic. And I know you rank as, like Christophe just said, I mean, it's the best of the best right here. And so with that being said, we have Christophe Choo.
And I don't like to, brag at all. And I tell my people that, number one is a byproduct of skill, hard work, persistence, perseverance, a lot of energy, and a lot of satisfied clients. That's what the truth. That's what that equals. And I thank you to all my clients who, have done business with us and continue to do business with us.
And Marty, your energy is truly infectious. So I'll tell you that. And I've gotten some of it just from being in the same room with you a couple of times. And so I'm very appreciative of that. And so now we have Christophe Choo at Coldwell Banker, Beverly Hills. And Christophe and I, really good friends, one of my best buddies in the business. And Christophe, you're somebody that travels all across the world talking about real estate, luxury real estate. And it's beyond exciting to have you with us today as well.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it. And we need to help the agents get out of this situation, not be fearful, not be worried, keep being productive, keep helping people, keep moving forward. We have to move forward. That's what we got to do.
And
so I have this segment, I call it.
No, I was going to say, Christophe and I understand, because I always brag about Christophe when he completely left a market in Los Feliz and packed his bags. And it was kind of like, there was nothing there. He had to start over. He had to start from scratch in Beverly Hills and start a brand new business and understand a brand new market. So, what's happening now, I know, Christophe, that you will be great at the comeback.
Look, you and I both know, Marty, you and I both been through I've known you since 1991, right? So we've been through the fires, the floods, the riots, the earthquakes, the real estate crash of the 90s, the crash of the 2000s, 9/11. We've been through 10 disasters, but we're still here. And the truth is, you and I both know when the markets go down, let's face it, 15-20% of the agent population in North America is going to disappear in the next couple of months. We are fighters. We work hard all the time. We will keep going through. And as these times are difficult for others, we will prosper and make opportunities for our clients and ourselves in these times. We have to.
Yes, we will. Go ahead, John.
So that leads me to my first question for the two of you. How do you maintain the sense of positivity, the opportunistic feelings that you both manifest in not just changing markets, but really with what we're going through right now?
Marty, you start first. Ladies first.
You know what? I always say, you know what? You won't see me sweat because I'm not going to. No matter what I feel inside, I know what I've got to do on the outside. And my job is to, motivate not only myself, but all the people around me. So, I've really been working on, Zoom calls with my team. I've been trying to learn. I've been trying to interact with positive people. I tell them, send me jokes, make me laugh. And in between, I've actually been working so hard. I really haven't had a lot of time. And this week has gone by really, really fast for me. I'm working on an offer right now, and my client says, hey, an agent just called me yesterday, and he said, do I want to sell my house? So she referred him to me. I go, you know, he's just prospecting, and you know, I'm thinking, good for him, because whoever that guy is smart. He knows that he's going to be ready when this is all over, because he's prospecting, and you know what? People are going to get mad at him. But guess what? They got mad at us before this. So what's the difference? You got to keep calling. You know, what are you going to say to them? You know what? I'm going to say, you know, I've been busy. You know, I have clients that still want to sell. In fact, I had a client call me this morning. And so when you call them, you know, ask them, say, I know these are difficult times. I'm not sure if you're thinking about selling, and I just want to help you get ready when all this is over. You know, put a good script together, but call them and call and call and call. It's still going to be a numbers game, whether it was before coronavirus or it's after coronavirus.
Exactly. Great words.
So what would you say, Christophe? I mean, you're one of the most positive people that I know. You always have a smile on your face, even through adversity, dealing with difficult deals and transactions. You might have a deal fall out of escrow, you know, and you still are smiling ear to ear. So how about you? What are you doing in order to maintain your sense of positivity at this time?
So first of all, I've always focused on the positive, never the negative. Look, negative stuff happens in our lives every single day, multiple times a day. I get over it fast, just like Marty. I mean, you know, in a day, our business and our lives are like roller coasters. You have highs and lows multiple times a day. I just focus on the highs. And when bad things happen, I could be upset for a minute or 5 minutes or an hour. I don't let it get to me, and I have to keep moving forward. Look, I have a job. My job is to help calm people down, be the calming force in the transaction, help people get through these rough times. And this is my 10th or 11th or 12th disaster in my career, not my career, but in the world, that I've had to help guide people through. I don't have time for negativity. I don't watch the news. I just don't. I mean, like when I got home last night, I put on my TV and I started watching the news. I'm like, oh no, I'll just turn it off. It was just so negative. I only post positivity. Look, we all have, if there's anything bad going on, we're going to know about it. So I only post positivity. I'm keeping my head in the game. I'm doing my affirmations every day. I'm doing Zoom calls. I mean, I've done 16 Zoom calls in a week. I mean, mastermind groups and webinars and like this one, and helping people get through this. Because look, I'll be 52 years old this year. I have a lot of life experience, and I can share what I know. And if I fill my life and time with things of helping people, I'm not worried about what's going on, because whatever's going on is going on. I can't change the external. All I can change is my mindset, my heart, what I do day to day, even at home, to help people and help others, mentally, physically, emotionally, in business, whatever it is. I got to do my part. And if we all in this 7 billion people planet do our part, we will all be the better for it. And look, this is a temporary thing, whether it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months before we get over all of this. We will survive. We have to focus on love, beauty, relationships, friendships, helping each other at this particular time. We all need support. I have my moments too, but I get over them quickly.
Now, with that being said, let me ask you this, Christophe. I see you're at the office right now.
Yep.
And I know that you have a normal structured routine. You start your day normally pre-COVID-19, early in the morning. Now, has that routine changed at all? And here's what I mean by that. There's some real estate agents that are waking up, you know, at 11 o'clock and they're not getting themselves right physically. And I think that could have an effect on their ability to go on out and perform. But I'd like to hear from the two of you. What's your routine look like today?
So my routine is even stronger than before. It has changed, but every day I'm taking my meds, MEDS, meaning not I don't take any medication, just so you know. But my meds are meditation, exercise. Oh shoot, I forgot the other two, the T in the end. Meditation, exercise. Oh shoot, I forget the words. Anyways, I'm focusing on all the things I can control and I can do. I'm eating. Sleep is the S. The D, I'll figure out what the D is, but meditation, I'm doing much more meditation than before. My affirmations were 3-4 times a week. I'm now doing it 7 days a week with other people, like 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m. We're doing affirmations with each other. Exercise, I mean, I am getting up instead of 6 o'clock, maybe 6:30 or 7, because there's nowhere to go. And I'm taking walks in the morning with my wife, which she loves. and just appreciating nature and beauty and being grateful for what I do have. I have a home, I have a roof over my head, I have hot and cold water, I have electricity when it's working, I have internet when it's working. But I'm so much better off than most people. So focusing on all the positivity, exercise, meditation, and connections with people. That's what I'm focusing on. It's a different world, and it's strange to me, as you know, John, I go out to lunch every single day, dinners and parties 3-4 nights a week. That's gone, and that's okay. It's hard at times, but I get pissy, and then I'm like, okay, it's fine, let it go, and just move on what I can do. So, Marty, what are you doing?
For me, it's like you said, my exercise, is important. I don't want to gain weight while this time is here, so I watch what I eat. I drink a lot of water during the day. I stay at home because I'm not allowed to go. They don't allow me to go to the office, so I'm at home working. But yesterday I was pretty busy because home builders are exempt. So I actually met with a buyer yesterday at a brand new home, and I want to tell you, it was so awesome because I'm thinking, putting this together, he was a $1.1 million buyer, which is high for where I am. Okay. And I stretched him to 1.2 million on this house. We're going to see if the builder is going to accept his offer or not at this point. But what was more awesome is me working with the lender with his finances. So I work with about 5 different lenders, and the lender called me and she said, Marty, I called Grace. She goes, my rates are not down as low as hers today. And I have to give a shout out to Adriana Martinez from Homebridge because she's the one that called me and says, Marty, I'm going to give it up. And, I thought, wow, this is, the people I work with are so awesome. So she called Grace and she gave the whole transaction to Grace because Grace's rates were lower. So I could get these people up. And then I figured, if you pay off this credit card, that credit card, I'm going to reduce $700 a month of your payment, because we were working on this together. So with, putting our heads together, we got his payment down, but his qualification up. So now I'm just going to pray to God that the builder is going to accept it. So if I put this together, those are my highs. Yay. Yes.
Yay.
And I get so excited about, putting those transactions together because sometimes I know it's like, do other people think like me? I want them to think like me. I want to help people, in our industry. And, and that's why I'm on here today because, I try to stay up, by either putting a transaction together as negotiating this morning on my 2 offers. I'm going to do, some Zoom calls to stay up and stay positive. I'm going to do some learning. I've also got some classes that I've, signed up for. So like I said, I'm trying to keep really, really busy. And please, you guys, don't stay home and listen to, negativity. Try to interact, do Zoom, talk to people who are on the same page that you are. Because right now, we have to stay mentally right. Strong. I listened to Dave Halperin yesterday, and he was so awesome. He said, what is the meaning that you give to this experience? How are you labeling this experience? And for me, it's an opportunity to be better, to get stronger, because if I can do this, I can do anything. So, my label for me is, I think that I know that it's not that it's easy, but I'm going to find the opportunity in this situation. So what are you labeling it? And if you're not talking to people who are positive, don't talk to the naysayers because, there's lots of those around. You need to listen to things like this. You need to listen to Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Dave Halperin, and there's so many other, speakers out there that have so much to help us to build our mental muscle. Okay. Build your mental muscle. Don't let anything break you down because I will not let this break me.
I'm with you, Marty. This is not going to break me either. I mean, I'm a survivor. When I first started in real estate back in the early 90s, I remember I went to my first Mike Ferry retreat in the desert, and you were on the panel, the superstar back in those days, and you were making $1.5 million a year as the #1 producer for Century 21. I'm like, wow, look at this woman. Look at what she did. And she's always had this energy and spark and fire. You are like a flare, like, those flares in a car, like if you break down. Like you can take a flare, you can throw it in the water, you can put it in the rain, it's still going. You're like the Energizer Bunny. And I mean, we've known each other for 35 years now, practically, or 32 years. I have followed you forever. You've been a mentor to me, and I've never seen you down. I've seen you emotional from a true heart perspective, but you're never down. You're always moving forward, taking care. Look, you're a tough woman. You take care. You've been through a lot of in your life, but you keep going every single day. We all have to do that. Look, we all have stuff in our lives, especially right now. What are we going to sit and muck and mire and watch TV all day and be down? Like Marty, I am listening to at least 1 to 2 hours a day of positive videos, mastermind groups, studying. I'm reading more now than ever because there's nothing else, especially with no internet, no power. What am I going to do? I got to read. So this is a time where finally we do have time to spend with our families, enjoy life more, be grateful more, and build our business, sharpen our axe, sharpen our skills. Because look, whether it's, like I said, a month or two from now, we're going to get out of this. And I really believe the market will rebound very strongly. I'm going to be ready. And all the others that I've been through these markets before, they'll get out of the business. So to give us more opportunities to help other clients. And we need to be here to help people, agents and our clients and our friends and our family. That's what we have to be.
I have a question for the two of you. So Marty mentioned that you're taking more classes. And Christophe, when you talk about sharpening your skill set, sharpening your tools, essentially, what would you advise for real estate agents watching this right now? What could they work on? What are some of the things that you would say, hey, listen, if you're going to be at home, these are the things that you should be doing. Work on this and or this.
Marty, why don't you start?
You know what? I think what they need to work on, depending on what level you're at, whether you're a new agent is, learning that contract, first of all, like the back of your hand. If you're also, those new people, there's a lot of things that they need to learn right now. Remember, I've got 42 years in this business, and there's a lot of information up here because I've been learning my whole life. My dad said to learn something every single day until the day you die. And I tell my people the same thing. And believe it or not, I'm still learning as we speak right now. So as a new agent, you're going to be learning something. As a seasoned agent, you're also going to be learning something. There's a lot of things that you don't know. And I know that just by the fact of some of the contracts I receive from some agents that are incomplete, that don't have the proper supporting documentation. So set up your system, how you're going to make this. And what kind of surprised me, a lot of people are not paperless, and that is critical at this time. So right now, also work on, on a better paperless system that's going to work for you, because this is going to be the wave of the future. So I was actually surprised to know that some people were not even set up for that. And for, our seasoned agents and, our teams, we need to definitely work on our systems, how to improve them, because even myself, we're always trying to make our systems better, work on our staff, how to make them better, and just putting the whole circle together. And this is your time to do it, and also to organize your leads. I'm also working on organizing the leads that I do have, and who's going to be ready, and making sure that I'm going to be doing follow-up. In fact, I'm a little bit mad at myself because I got so busy. I don't think I did a good job this week on my follow-up. So I'm actually mad at myself for that.
You're always hard on yourself, but that's why you're so successful. So for me, you guys all know Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins said years and years ago, constant and never-ending improvement. My life has been nothing about that. And as Marty talked about, when I first started selling real estate back in the late 80s, I was living in South Pasadena, at Los Feliz in South Pasadena, working in Hancock Park, and I was commuting an hour to two a day to go to work, and then an hour or two back to work, back and forth. And I did not go to college, so my college education was in my car. It was Mike Ferry, Anthony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, all of the greatest speakers. They were back in those days was cassettes. Then it became CDs. Now it's MP3s. But I'm always learning. Even now, I have a six-minute commute, but I'm not listening to the radio. I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to podcasts now. And I'm always filling my brain with positivity. And in my affirmations every morning, one of the first things I talk about, I said, I release and let go of any fears, worries, concerns, negativity, negative thoughts, things in my mind that don't have a positive nature. I let them go, and I visualize. I close my eyes and I like steam out of a train. All that steam and all that nonsense of negativity is just out of my mind and life. And then I talk about everything I'm grateful for. No matter where you are in your life and any day, there's always things to be grateful for. We're alive. We have our health. We have our families. We have our home. We have a roof. We have a bed. Look, I've slept on the streets. John has slept on the streets with me for homeless kids. I know what it's like to sleep on a cement street in the cold with a cardboard box. So every time I do that, I go home the next morning, I'm like, oh my God, to have a soft, warm bed. So I'm just putting constant positivity in my mind. I'm not looking at anything negative. I'm sharing positivity. I'm focusing on affirmations and goals more than ever, building my skills, working on my database, calling. My goal is to call 20 to 25 past clients in Sphere a day, nothing to do with business, just simply reaching out to them and connecting. And how are they doing? What can I do to assist them? I think that's all we can do right now. And I think that's just keep moving forward.
Hey, Christophe, so we have an agent, Lee Quintana from New York. And I've had the opportunity to meet Lee, and she's an awesome agent, somebody that's out there actively working. And when Marty was mentioning about making phone calls, it's kind of what you just hit on as well. She said New York's in a state of emergency. And with that being said, they're not allowed to make cold calls. But what they can do is to stay connected with their sphere of influence. They can stay connected with their clients. Yep. And it's like you said, reach on out to them, just touch base. Hey, how are you doing? That sort of thing. Yep. So here's a question for the two of you as well. I have a friend, another real estate agent from the East Coast out in the Florida area. And we were just having a conversation about the importance of just doing things for others, right? So I think for an agent who's in a bit of a rut right now, maybe if they're feeling the weight of the world on their shoulders, whether it's money, finances, lack of business, stress at home, whatever, the current climate, maybe just getting out of their way and doing something for others. And it could be the smallest thing. Maybe it's picking up groceries for a neighbor, or, I had thrown out maybe paying for an elderly that's in line, paying for their $20 grocery bill. But how important do you think that is at a time like this for the real estate agent community to do something for others, even if it's something that they don't normally do, with the intent of maybe feeling a little bit more fulfilled?
I think that's critically important. It's critically important always, every day of your life. Always be kind to others, share with others, help others. That's just what we need to be as human beings, not just in this particular time, but in connecting with clients. You can't cold call. I haven't cold called in 15, 16 years. That's just not what I do. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure every day you're getting 10, 15, 20 people sending you private Facebook messages and quotes and texts, check. So as soon as I get that message or text, I'm like, oh, wow, I haven't connected with that person in a year. Let me pick up the phone and call them. So they just texted me. I call them. Hey, how's it going with you? What can I do for you? That's how I'm connecting with people. And people are connecting with me. I'm connecting with them. And when they don't, then I just reach out and connect. Get yourself out of your head of your fears, your worries, your concerns. You're being selfishly concerned about yourself, and think about your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your city, your state, your community, your planet, and humanity. If you think of it that nature, even the other day I went to the market, which on Sunday, and there was a woman there, an older woman, I wanted to help her, and I didn't even think about the virus. I went to try to help her with her groceries. Oh, no, don't help me. And look, we can't help people as much, but just get outside of your head. Just put your head and your worries, like Anthony Robbins said, put them in a little plastic box, put them down on the floor for right now, and you can talk about those later. And what can you do right now to help others? If you just focus on that, it'll help you.
And I think I've been calling, some of my past clients, and like I said, I'm not looking for business with them. They're past clients. I'm just calling in to see how they're doing. And, your conversation, they're going to remember that. They're going to remember you when all this is over. So I know there's a lot of people that, people do know. So reach out to those people as well. And, and some agents, like I said, here in California, they are cold calling, and there's nothing wrong with that either. That they can say, are you doing okay? I know I have some clients who are still preparing to sell after all this is over. So I was just checking to see if, if that is your situation. And if it's not, I want to know that you're just okay, and I wish you well. Just change the conversation. Yeah, this is going to be a comeback with a lot of compassion for a lot of people, because you have to remember, guys, in 2007, I hated that market, because you know what? Half those people were not good people. They used the system. They took that money. They bought cars. They bought toys. They bought stuff and walked away and got free toys and cars. They were not all good people. This is going to be completely different. These are going to be people who are totally, definitely hurt and that need our help. All of them, not just some of them. So, we'll come back, but we'll come back with, a lot of help and a lot of compassion. It'll be way different. So we have to be ready for that.
Yeah. the world is changing, and I've seen so much. Look, there's a lot of negativity and horrible things going on, and every time you do just hear something on Facebook, like last night I was looking on Facebook, and every single thing was just negative, and I was just like, I just can't even look at this stuff. But there's so much positivity out there. When I see what's going on with the kindness going on right now, and the humanity and people really helping each other, that's what we are as human beings. And we need to just get outside of ourselves and do more of that. And yeah, it's going to be challenging times. And a lot of, look, 3 million people filed for, or 3.3 million people filed for unemployment last week. It's challenging, but we're going to help everyone get through that. We're going to support our local businesses as best we can and keep moving everything forward and being the guiding light for our world. I mean, if your world is 2 people, be the guiding light for those 2 people. If your world is thousands of people, be the guiding light for them. I mean, I'm doing podcasts myself and like chats like this. John reached out to me about this, and I was going to reach out to him, and we were at the same idea. I've done several of these trying to help educate people, not to let them live in fear. And Marty, you said a great thing. Look, our memories are short, and we look back to 2008 when we really truly had a housing crash. And that was really a housing crash with subprime mortgages. But back in 2007, I was with you. I had a listing in our area, not in Beverly Hills, but outside, that was $899, and we had 75 offers on it. And of those 75 offers, half the offers were 0 down and 3% down. And I remember saying to my wife, these people can't afford to buy a home. They're taking advantage of the marketplace. And I thought, if any of these people lose their job in 90 days, they're going to lose the home. What sold for over $1 million was 25% over asking price, and then the market crashed. The position then is back in 2007, from my conference call I did on Monday, we were $860 billion in housing debt in the United States, $860 billion in debt in housing. Today in 2020, we are $220 billion in housing debt. That's 75% less. And secondly, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have put a moratorium on no foreclosures for the next 90 days. Most lenders are giving people an extra 90 days to pay their mortgages and all that. We are not where we were in 2007 and 2008. This is an external crisis. That was a housing mortgage crisis from subprime loans. We are not in that position. So yes, the next 30, 60 days is going to be tough. And one of the big forecasters talked about it this week. They said, this quarter, we're going to go down 25% in GDP in the United States, which is a huge drop. And it's going to be a roller coaster ride of emotions. But they're predicting the 3rd and 4th quarter of this year. This is Goldman Sachs' prediction as of Monday. I think it's 15% increase in the 3rd quarter, 14% increase in the 4th quarter, and huge gains in 2021. Look at the stock market the last couple of days, the biggest gains in the history since 1933. We are under very trying times, a lot of external things going on. We can't buy into the media. We can't buy into the fears. We can't buy into all this daily up and down, up and down. We're human beings. We're Americans. We're going to survive this stuff. Look, and then we will get out of this virus. This is an external thing. It will end just as quickly as it came. And when it does, we will slowly get back to normal. I don't believe in the doom and gloom of our market. And if you look at my videos the last couple of days, you will see the actual data behind this. We're not going to have a housing crash. We're going to move forward positively. Yes, we have some rough times ahead the next couple of months, but we will get through this. We're strong, resilient human beings. As long as we take care of each other, we give love, and we help each other, we will get through this.
You know, and I think,
and if anybody,
no, I was going to say that we really, really need to help our local businesses in every community. They are really hurting. One of my clients called me, and she was looking for $30,000 to be able to, keep her restaurant afloat. Think about those people, guys. You know what? Support your local restaurants, your local businesses, and, buy American. This is going to really teach us that, we need to make sure that we buy American, and America is strong. And we're going to start in our neighborhoods with our local businesses.
That's
so
right.
Don't forget them, and spread that word.
It's such a powerful message, Marty, for sure. No question about that, because we see it here, even in our city of Rancho Cucamonga, the Ontario area, and some of these people that own businesses, we play soccer with them, and, they're doing what they can to try to keep their doors open, even asking people, hey, just do curbside, pull up to our place and, buy our product in order to support. So here's a question. I know that if anybody who's watching this, you guys have any questions, please feel free to post them directly on here, just so that way we could ask Christophe and Marty. But Marty, you mentioned about using Zoom. So I've been wanting to do more of these virtual calls for probably about a year and a half. And now is the time that I'm doing it. So can you just give some insight on that? Are you actually doing these types of calls where you're letting your clients physically see you when you call them? And are they uncomfortable about that at all?
Well, I haven't done it with the clients, but you know what? I'm doing it with, like with my team. And you know what I realized is like, why didn't we do this before? I'm getting to really, really, I think, know my team members even better. I mean, we're so close up, on the screen, and we're talking and kidding and working and having fun. And I'm thinking there's some people that I liked, and now I like them even more. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? But seriously, I'm thinking, why didn't we do this before? Because sometimes, people couldn't show up for a meeting, and now there's no excuse for them not to show up. And they don't miss anything. So this is going to change, I think, the way we do business for sure. I'm actually excited about Zoom. I had no idea how, how this was going to make us even better, and it is. So, and then we'll be able, like I said, be able to set this up, with our clients. So that'll probably be our next step here.
And what about you, Christophe? #1 video influencer in North America. I forced one of my friends the other day. I said, don't call me, FaceTime me, or, whatever, Zoom me. And we did it through Instagram. And I really kind of wanted to force it upon myself as well to do it because, if you're not doing it normally, I have no problem being in front of a camera, but talking to somebody back and forth, a little unnerving. What are your thoughts on that?
On what specific question?
To use video or Zoom to connect with your clients. Like, are you doing any of that? Marty was mentioning she's doing it amongst her team members, but I want to start doing this more with my buyers and my sellers as well, clients actually.
So I've done it. I did an interview this morning for media, I forget which one it was, about specifically technology today and the use of video and the modern world, which has changed dramatically in the last 3 weeks. So as you know, John, I've been doing videos for 12, 13 years. I was doing virtual showings 13 years ago when my assistant was only 11 years old. So I've been doing that. And I talked about that yesterday. I said, virtual showings, this has been going on for 12 years for me. But in Zoom, I've been using Zoom probably for 3 or 4 years. Most of our mastermind groups are all on Zoom calls. I've been using it with clients for many years. This morning, we had a 4-5 people conference call with a project with a client we're working on. I've always used them, but now more than ever, because you can't meet face to face. And in today's call, there were people all around the world doing the conference. So Zoom is valuable. I've been using BombBomb for a number of years, which is I can record videos on my phone or on my computer, send them as an email or a text to a clients. I've sold quite a number of homes just doing live, I forget what it's even called now. There's so much FaceTime videos showing people properties. Technology is to our benefit. And now, look, like I said, I have not been in touch or in contact with another human being in 2 weeks. So even yesterday, I was on a chat with a good friend of mine back east, and it was nice just to be face to face with her on the camera. It was kind of like her sitting here with me. So we have to use technology. I've been using it for a long time, so I'm used to it, and I've always seen value in it. And I think now more than ever, communication is one of the sparks of life. Communication is one of the most important things in friendships, marriages, relationships, client things, staff, communication. So why not communicate in a way like this? I mean, this is amazing. We can push a button, be live, record it, share it. That's amazing that we have this opportunity. I mean, when Marty and I started years ago, we didn't have computers. We had those thick, MLS books like phone books. The cell phones, Marty and I talked about it, were these big boxes that were like this big, those Motorola giant 20-pound cell phones. And now today, like when I was a kid, I remember Star Trek. Remember Star Trek with those flip phones? I'm like, wow. And now we have the world in our palm. We can do everything from that. So use technology to your advantage.
So how important do you think, and then I'll say if there's any questions, this is my last question for you, and then I'm going to defer to you if you guys want to close it out with a message. And if anybody posts a question, I'll let you know. But to be able to sell your value when meeting with sellers, to say, listen, I'm going to create a virtual tour, a video tour of your home, because Marty said that the way we do business is going to change. And I also think the way that consumers go about their normal routines is also going to be adjusted. I mean, I love Vegas more than anybody, but I think I'm going to maybe have a tad of hesitancy to go, to the club and have all these people around me. It's just God honest truth. So how important do you think it is for agents watching to make sure that they indeed adopt the ways of creating things like virtual tours, video tours of homes?
You know what? I'm really excited because I think it's going to save a lot of time for people actually looking at houses. Like I know I'm using Matterport and, and our pictures and then our aerials, which covers the property pretty well. The people that wrote this offer that I'm working on right now actually saw it that way and knew that they really both wanted the house at that point. So, I think if we continue to do that, people don't really have to get out of their cars to go look at it. And when they pick out the properties, then they're going to go look at those, and those are going to be your serious buyers looking at your property. So it's definitely going to change, I think, the way we do business. And I'm kind of excited about that, saving people, I think, a lot of time.
I agree with that, John. And we're always looking for efficiencies. So as you know, John, because you've helped us with a lot of our videos, we do professional videos and we do our virtual showings, which is literally just me going on camera saying, hi, welcome. And in my mind, I'm picturing the buyers right behind me and I'm walking them through the house. So we've always done that. And what we've also done way before this happened, I mean, for the last probably 4 or 5 years, we get a showing request. I'll always say to the agent, have your clients looked at it online? Yes or no? I said, here's the virtual showing. Here's the video tour. Please have your clients look at these 2 videos first before they come to make sure it's generally a good fit for them. And I would say that is cut out for years now, maybe 20-25% of the show, because like, oh yeah, that's not a good fit for my client. So look, that saves us 20-30 minutes going there, 15 minutes to set up, half an hour showing it. So that saves us a couple hours on showing. So we've been doing that for a long time. Now even more, my pre-qualification skills, we can still show properties, but my pre-qualification has gotten even better because I am not getting in the car or having my staff go in the car to show a house unless I see proof of funds, I see a pre-approval letter that's legit, and they pre-screen the house, they've seen the videos. Otherwise, I'm not going. And if the agent and broker don't want to send it or the clients don't look at it, then they're not serious. I'm not going to risk my life or my client's life to show a house for someone who's not going to do the proper protocols to see a house. So these are things I've been doing for a long time. So now they're really coming into fruition for everyone. So I think look, negativity and bad things always create opportunities and change. So it'll change. Look, right now we're dealing with some rough times. That's fine. We'll deal with it. But we will all be for the better when this is all done. I really believe that.
And you know what?
I had my friend Jerry.
You know what? I'm jealous because Christophe is way ahead of us because he has a lot of international clients. So he's had to sell real estate like this way long before, this all came about. So yeah, I'm jealous of that, Christophe.
And I mean, my first deal I did was 10 years ago. It was a $14 million deal. Back in those days, I had a flip camera. John, remember the flip cameras?
Yeah.
Yep.
On the market. They were in Europe. I went to the property. We're going to buy it as a tear down. I did a video of the house. I did a video of the property and the reason why I told them to buy it. And it was maybe a 3-minute video. And in those days, there was not a lot of technology, 10 years ago. So I had to upload it to YouTube as a private video. I had to send it to them via email, privately to their email, so they could only see it. Well, they bought a $14 million house sight unseen. That was the first time I've done that. And I've done that many times since then. So look, I have, as you said, a lot of international clients. I've been using this technology as it comes out. And now with the phones, it's so easy. I mean, so many times I just do, hey, let's schedule 11 o'clock tomorrow. We'll do a live FaceTime. And I'm just walking through, oh, you want to see that room again? Let me go back. Even Sunday, I mean, I haven't seen my sister in a couple months. So we did a live chat with my sister and my nephews, and I'm walking around the house showing them our new flowers and, just interacting like as if they're there. I mean, what other choice do we have right now?
I was saying that with Christophe, actually, I don't know if you recall this, but I had lunch with you at Villa Blanca one time, and you had just closed on a $6 or $7 million home. And it was with a client that had purchased from overseas, and you created all of these videos, street view. You even put the video in your car. You drove downtown to show them how far it is. And you created all these videos, and you created a private YouTube playlist,
yep,
which I thought was just brilliant.
Yep.
So smart.
Yep.
And this was years ago. So fast forward, Jerry Cymbalski, who's a agent with Century 21 out in New York. He's an awesome, great guy, North Fork area. He was saying that he's actually creating a private Facebook page for his clients and uploading video content there just so that way it's easy for them to access. It's actually a really good idea. Obviously, you can use something like YouTube and unlist the videos if you want to keep it private, but a private Facebook page is also completely viable. So I think it's just about leveraging the resources that we already have, and that's what forward-thinking people do. Actually, we have a question for the two of you.
I want to add to that real quickly. I do work with a lot of international buyers, and you have to look at your marketplace. who buys, who sells, how people interact. So in my market, I'm in Beverly Hills, there's a lot of international buyers that buy vacation homes. So I've done, as you know, John, I have almost 3,000 videos on my YouTube channel. So I have videos on how to buy as a foreign national, what the escrow process is, what do you need to expect as a buyer, and what should you plan on to purchase a home in California. So when this particular buyer that you and I talked about at lunch, came from Europe, he found me on Google or YouTube, and we were starting our conversation. Said, look, you're coming in 6 months. Let me send you a video about how to buy in California as a foreign national, what to expect in the purchase of a home in terms of contracts and all that. Let me send you the video about what you need to plan on for home inspections. And I sent him all these in advance so he could educate himself. And some of these videos are 3-4 years old on my YouTube channel, but they're there. So look, I truly believe now more than ever, videos are valuable. And a lot of consumers do find me from these videos because they're in Europe or they're wherever in the world. And they're like, oh, Beverly Hills Homes, Bel Air Homes, whatever. I'm a foreign buyer. How do I buy in California? If you educate people, don't expect the returns now, but in the long run, you will get returns. And if every year or two you get 2 or 3 deals, it doesn't matter what the price range is in your community, it could be 500,000, 600,000, doesn't matter. But if you get business because you're just doing your part to help educate consumers out there, the universe will take care of you. They will. So I think that's really important.
Main takeaway there, in my opinion, is make sure that you're educating clients and leveraging video. I've been advising real estate agents, create a series that walks somebody through the buying process. Short videos, short, concise, 3 minutes, from getting pre-qualified to searching from homes to submitting offers to the contingency periods to what happens after the fact. So yeah, all great points right there. So what would you say to somebody if they're working with a client and the client was really active, but now that we're in this time that the client says, hey, you know what? I think we're going to hit a big recession. Property values are going to drop and I'm just going to wait. What would be your response to a client like that?
Marty?
I think that, for example, right now, remember, before all this happened, guys, we had so many buyers in the marketplace dealing with so many multiple offers. So when this all happened, some of those people fell off, but a lot of those people are still in and still waiting to buy or are buying right now as we speak. So we still have a lot of buyers. Is it going to fall? You know what? This is not 2007, 2008. These are people that have equity. It's a different kind of market. They didn't have any equity in those days. And most of those people couldn't even afford the payment the day they bought the house.
That's right.
So, they had no business buying. So I think it's going to be completely, it will be completely different. And as I can see right now, still getting multiple offers on properties is saying there's still more buyers than sellers. So if we lose some of the buyers, then, they're still going to have more buyers than sellers, or the buyers and sellers going to even out. So I don't see that big drop because, life is going to go back to normal for a lot of people and who are still, looking to, and you know what? And some of these people are going to probably reconsider. They might want to buy down and, because life is different for them. So you're going to have properties coming up for sale and there's still going to be buyers to buy these houses. Remember, buyers will always buy, sellers will always sell. It doesn't matter what kind of market you're in. You just got to pray to God that you're the agent that gets picked to do that transaction.
That's right.
And you know what? And you know how to get picked, right? That means prospect, stay in front of them, show them that you not only give service, but you bring value to them. Because I was taught service is expected. I don't care whether it's coronavirus or after. Service is expected. I mean, how many people do you know that won't even answer their phone and you can't get responses? But you know what? Christophe and I not only bring service, we bring value, whether it's value trying to teach them, value of what we know up here that other people don't know. I've been working with my escrow officer for 30 years. I've been working with my title guy for 25 years. You know what? And I've been doing this for 42 years. Do you know how much value we bring to the table? It's a lot. I mean, beyond just selling real estate. It's, crazy trust, conservatorships, building, construction, easement problems. I mean, we know we are such great problem solvers, and that's where you want to be. And you're only going to get to that point if you learn something every single day. And even if you're not learning from yourself, learn from the people around you. I share all of my experiences with my team. I don't want them to make mistakes. I don't want them, to be caught up in something that they didn't know. So, it's, I'm a resource to them. It's like, come to me, you have a problem. Let's see if we can, help solve this problem together. But because I don't want them to make a mistake. remember, nobody's made more mistakes than Marty Rodriguez, because I've been doing this for 42 years.
And
all
me.
those mistakes, yeah, all those mistakes is what have made me great. Because you know what? You make them once, you don't make them twice.
Yeah, exactly. So John, in answer to your question, some people have asked, should I sell now? Should I buy now? I truly think this is a blip in the market. Nobody has a crystal ball, but from everything I've studied and every webinar I've been on and all the data I've reviewed, I just don't see any change in the marketplace. I mean, we're going to have right now a month, 2, maybe 3 months of pause in real estate where people can't even go out and look. We already had the lowest inventory in many, many years. We have a huge pent-up buyer demand and the lowest historical rates in history of our country. So I think once this pause button is lifted and people are going to be jumping out in droves to buy real estate, I really believe that. And we're not seeing any price changes, at least in California, or at least in Beverly Hills. We're not seeing a lot of defaulted deals. One of my friends in New York, we were on a conference call yesterday and she had 40 deals pending. Now 7 deals fell out because of the coronavirus, because most of her clients were tied to the stock market in New York and they're really under volatile times. But to me, I mean, that's 20, not even 20%. I mean, our default rate in California, at least in Beverly Hills, is typically 20 to 25% anyways. I mean, out of every deal every year, generally, you know, 1 out of 4 falls out at some point in time. That's just normal. So we're just not seeing any major changes. And when you think, I mean, you know, 3 weeks ago when I did my video, I said, look, rates were at 3.25 for a jumbo $3 million mortgage and under 3%. And I did a video that day about it. Well, now they're almost a point higher. I think they're going to go down again. There's so many opportunities in this marketplace to refinance. And Marty knows when I started real estate in 1989, rates were 17, 18%. And people were still buying lots of homes. Today, rates are, goes from 4% to 3.5% to 4%. Oh, I'm not going to buy. The rates went up 0.25%. Are you crazy? Do you realize your parents, what they had to pay for a mortgage back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s? I mean, come on, guys, be realistic. You got to take it.
Christophe, to your point about the pause, I just did an interview with a good friend of mine who, this guy is an accomplished investor, business owner, and he's done great things in the business world, entrepreneur. And he had told me about a month before the market had basically had this catastrophic hit, he had told me that this hit was coming our way. So this guy's always hit the nail on the head. Anything that he's advised me on, he's been on point for quite some time. And so, you know, I had him on a call or one of these and we did a presentation. That's what we said. Basically, the market's like pausing to some degree, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting in front of these people, giving them the advisement to say, hey, listen, when you know, the cloud is lifted or the clouds have cleared, then we can proceed, then we can move forward, then we can get the ball rolling again. And I think that that's a fair conversation to have with people, because I also think it instills a sense of confidence for those that are okay with waiting, and you already have this business lined up. So I think it's like dominoes that will fall one after the other because you're getting these clients locked in. I got another question. This is a really good one. So somebody says they were working with a buyer, they were active, showing them homes. Now that this virus is here, the buyer does not want to go and see homes. How would you, and this is a qualified buyer, somebody who still has their job and everything, how would you go about responding to that?
Well, for me, go ahead, Marty.
You know what? I think being a qualified buyer at this time with rates so low and some of those other escrows have fallen out, this is probably his opportune time to buy and get a good house at this time. Yeah. Because these houses that have fallen out that he was looking at, he probably has a better opportunity to buy it with not as much competition. So I think that's what you need to let them know.
Yeah. I would be questioning the buyer as to why did they want to buy in the first place? What's the reason for it? And what's the reason they want to put on hold right now? Do they think prices are going to drop? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they think that. Well, let's get that question, that answer out of them, and then give them the proper data to support what, and look, nobody really knows, but to support that. But secondly, in that video I did 3 weeks ago about the mortgage rates, I did basically an average $1 million mortgage. And I showed the differential between, I think it was 5.5% versus 3.75. And I think if I remember correctly, on a 30-year mortgage, it was like a $238,000 savings of interest you're paying over 30 years on that differential, the interest rate. So I would just, look, when buyers have concerns and questions, I understand that we can ask them what their concerns are, what their questions are, where they're coming up with these, and try to give them the information. Some may still not buy. That's fine. Then you move on to the next one. But we just have to educate people, find out what their fears, concerns, and worries are, get to the basis of that. Is it based on fact, fear, or fiction? And how can we educate them? All we can do is give them the information. And I'm working on a deal right now that's around 12, 13 million. And the buyer and I had my buyer had a long conversation about it yesterday. And I showed him the video and all that. He says, I agree with you. I said, yeah, we're temporarily going to go down, but I still want to buy the house. So I think we just have to really get to again, this is being outside of ourselves, not worrying about our commission or the deal. What are their fears, worries, and concerns? Let's get to the root of that. And then we can share the information we have at our disposal to educate them. And they're going to make their decision, whether we like it or not. They want to buy, they don't want to buy, that's okay. But I don't know about you, Marty, but over the years, the biggest regret my clients have had is not listening to my advice. Over the years, buyers in high markets paying over asking price said, I don't want to buy that. I don't want to pay 10% over asking price. Well, those houses are worth 3-4 times more than they were at that time. Even myself, back in 2000, we bought our house. I said to my wife, I said, we're buying at the top of the market, but I don't care because I'd been through the 90s where prices went down 40%. I said, even if prices go down 40, 50%, it's okay. We can afford the home. We're going to live here. It's our home. It doesn't matter. Well, and I remember at the time we bought under $1 million, and my wife, we said to my wife, she says, oh, this house has a core value of $1.2 million. I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, we'll never see that value in our lifetime. And she teases me every day to this. It's only 20 years ago. It's worth 3 times that amount. And she says, do you remember when you said it'll never be worth more than $1.2 million? So look, real estate has always been the strongest investment ever in the history of the world. And stocks can drop to nothing in 5 minutes. Real estate, that never happens. Never happens. Real estate is always there. Land is land. Humans are humans. People always need a place to live in, to rent, to own. That's the safest investment ever you can be in anything, period. End of story.
That's right. I'm definitely a big advocate of, home ownership, because being one of 11 kids growing up in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, the one thing I tell people is that nobody told us we had to move. We were 13 people in that little house, but it was ours. My dad owned it, and I don't know how he did it, but he did it, way back then. And I'm putting a house up for sale right now. I'm going to list it for $875. And in the 1980s, I sold it to him for $179,000.
Yep.
And he called me and says, Marty, I'm not going to buy it. He goes, my CPA said not to buy it. And this is a guy I knew was doing really well. And I said, Victor, I go, you are lying to me. I go, you let me talk to that CPA like right now. I made him buy this house, and it's still our joke today. And so he bought it for $179,000 in the 1980s, and I'm going to list it right now for $875. So and
he's so happy you listened to your advice, right?
Yes, he is, but we still joke about it because I'm not kidding you. I made him buy it.
I've done that too. I'm like, you've got to buy this house, and they're always happy. So, sometimes, like I said, interest rates, like I said, you and I sold at 18, 19, 20%. So I know I've been there, done that. And you know what? This is crazy. But the people who bought, we were selling graduated payment programs. So nobody wanted to buy, but the people that took the graduated payment programs and then the rates came down made a lot of money in real estate because they were willing to take that risk of that program. And when the market shifted, rates came down to 12, they actually made money on the, right away on the sale of their home. Yeah.
So, and the same thing today at, the rates are going between probably 3.25% and 4.5%. I mean, that's amazing, guys, because I remember being excited about 12% interest.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So these people today that are saying they want to wait, but wait for what? If they're not worried about their job, I think they're okay. They're going to be okay to buy.
Yep.
And I don't think the market's going to depreciate because there's still more buyers than sellers as we speak right now.
Yeah. And one thing I want to share is buying investment properties. I mean, I have a client she was a school teacher back 35 years ago. And she bought her first duplex and a fourplex and an eightplex. Now she's worth over $100 million. And she was a school teacher from buying properties. I remember back in 1999, I had a 8-unit apartment building. I had the listing on in Silver Lake, wonderful part of Silver Lake on the border of Los Feliz. And the owner was asking $349, 8 units. And we kept getting offer after offer after offer, like 6-7 offers. And the offers were they wouldn't come up over $335. And My seller wanted 345. He wanted 4,000 less than the asking price. And I thought to myself, I said to my wife, I said, all these buyers are being so short-sighted. This is a great building in a great neighborhood, below market rents. This is a great property. So I thought, I've got a 6% commission. I'm just going to buy this building. I bought the building, and we had a 30-year mortgage. 2 years ago, we paid it off in full. That $345,000 apartment building is now worth $2.6 million. We own it free and clear, and we have $140,000 in rents coming in every year from that building. And when we bought it, it was $35,000 a year income, and it was not breaking even. It was a loss. And I said to my CPA, I said, look, if I lose $4 or $5 grand a year, I need the tax deduction. It's great. So I only wish if I would have just bought every one of the listings that I didn't sell, I would not have to work right now. I mean, really. If I just would have bought every single property that the owners decided not to sell, that can get, I would have $100 million in real estate portfolio, and I wouldn't have to work. So hindsight is, it's not always there, but that's, so I truly believe no matter what the market is, long-term, you can't go wrong with real estate, period.
Yeah, I know I'm mad at myself for some of the properties that I sold to during, the process of all these years, because sometimes, we focus on the business instead of on our business.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah. So I wish I had, more rentals.
Exactly.
I think if there's one key takeaway is, as a real estate professional, to make sure that you're diligent with your finances. When times are good, save your money. We hear 6 months worth of reserves. I tell people 12 months worth of reserves. You don't know, especially at times like this. We have these fluctuations in the market, and sometimes they can be pretty aggressive. I'll tell you, at Social Networks, we're actually busy right now, a lot busier than I thought we were going to be. And the majority of our business is all from top producers from all across the country that are doubling down, tripling down on their marketing efforts, getting videos created where so many others are fearful. They're capitalizing and taking advantage. So I'm going to leave it to the two of you. Any closing words? And then once you're done here, we'll go ahead and wrap for the sake of your time. I know you guys got things to do, and I am greatly appreciative of the two of you jumping on this call with me. You guys have no clue how much of an honor I believe this to be, to have the two of you on with me today.
You know what? I think for me, I just want to, a big shout out to, first of all, to the banks for putting everything on pause, because we don't want people to lose their homes. Okay, so thank you to the big banks. That was so big that I kept thinking about that. I said, when are they going to do it? They can't do it fast enough. So thank you to them. But I think for all of my real estate family out there, please interact with positive people, like what we're doing today with your teams, with whoever it is. Just keep communicating. As long as you're talking to somebody who's going to help you through this mentally and keep you mentally strong and feed good stuff, and know that this is only for a short time, okay? Because it will be good for a long time. Remember that.
Yeah.
So anyway, keep positive, guys. Work on your mental strength and feed only good stuff into that brain.
I'm so into that.
And keep selling and keep prospecting, whichever way you can.
Do the best you can do every day. If you need to cry for a minute, go ahead in the room and cry. Get that out of your system. Come back out stronger than ever. If you're focusing on what you can do for others, you're not thinking about yourself, so you won't even be having that conversation. Focus on affirmations, building your skills and sharpening your axe, helping others, doing what you can every day to be productive, spending time with loved ones, and appreciating the gratitude of life and being alive and nature and our families and friends. We all have so much. We live in the best country in the world. We all have so many wonderful privileges and wonderful blessings in our lives. Focus on what we have. Don't live in the past. Don't live in the fear of the future. Just live in the moment and the present. It is a present because it is a present we need to open. But if we're focusing on the past and the future, you can't even look at the moment and enjoy it. So be your best self each and every day. And when you're not, go in the corner for an hour and cry and be done, and wipe off your shoulders and get back out and put on a happy face and help others. That's my advice.
Well, thank you to the two of you again. And we had a solid audience throughout this entire production, which I'm super excited about. A lot of messages being posted, just thanking the two of you for your information, for your positivity, and a really uplifting message overall. So thank you once again, guys. And we look forward to having maybe some sort of a follow-up. I know, Christophe, you're always down to get on video. And Marty, It was an absolute pleasure. So I'll let the two of you get back to work, and we'll go ahead and conclude this presentation here.
John, thank you for what you're doing for the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, John, as always.
Thank you, Marty.
We're going to go to our Frida Mexican lunch when this is all over. Also,
can't wait.
You guys are coming back to Beverly Hills. When this is over, we'll go shopping, go eat again, and love you both. Be safe, and thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, guys.